We blocked it up. I said, well, I'm going to have to draw my pay for a half day. He goes, what do you mean? I said, well, I'm going to draw my pay for the half day. I said, I can't move houses like you move houses. I said, people do a little better job than you do. Yeah. He caved the whole wall in on the house. Oh, that won't matter. We'll just push it back. Push it back? The hell?
Now, he made work for me, but people were upset with him.
Yeah.
I mean, I come up on this one house. They never did use me. But where he crunched the corner up,
yeah,
it stayed up.
It broke the floor just as now.
Yeah. I was like, so when I went inside, the floor literally went uphill. I was like, well, he says, is that something you, yeah. I said, I can fix that. But you're going to have to take all the floor out right through here and replace it. Are you sure? I said, well, I'll crawl under. And I went under, which still had the beams under it. Yeah.
I moved to help Bradshaw. He called me up. He said, what you doing? Not a goddamn thing. He says, well, he says, I need help with the house. I can't get it off the basement. What? Ain't you putting cribs up and rolling the back? Well, no, he says, I ain't getting no cribs up here. You got any ideas how to move that house off of the basement? I said, yeah, how long are your beams? Oh, they're sticking out about 6 foot. That's all you need. So we put the dollies under the back of the house. I put the truck in a real big crunch, in a, like this, where it just backed it right around that basement. He goes, I didn't know you could do that. I said, how many years you moved out of it? What the hell?
When I was with him, he was high.
But he's always high,
Yeah, he's high. He's squint-eyed high.
Yeah, takes pills.
Yeah, major pain pills.
Yeah.
He goes, I got to go here and take my medicine. I'm starting to hurt. All right.
Yeah.
His son was supposed to take over his business, the way he told me. But his son said, no, I don't want nothing to do with you or this business. He says, son, this will be all yours. All you got to do is work with me for a while longer. He says, Dad, you're going to live too long. I can't put up with you that much.
Yeah. Randy's a fucker. Anyway, I got there that morning. He said, well, it'll take us 2 days to move this house. I said, why? I said, where's it go? Elkins? Yep. I said, we'll have that fucker on the spot this afternoon if you drive. He was hired now. Oh, shit, it was funny. I don't think I want you working. You'd move houses too fast. I said, oh, okay, whatever. He paid me a whole $4 an hour.
Randy Bradshaw had a house stolen from him over in Elkins? Grand theft house. Yeah. They moved the whole house, beams and everything.
Yeah. I know who did it. That other guy in Rogers.
What, some guy come up to him and said, I bought that house, will you move it for me?
No, he just put dollies under and hauled her out. You tell nobody nothing.
I mean, that's pretty bold to steal somebody's car or their bicycle or motorcycle. But when you steal a whole house, you're doing something.
He's got some in Elkins. He's been trying to sell me that one. But goddamn, he wants $10,000 for it. That's too much money.
Is he the one that owns that Carson's barbershop thing that was in Fayetteville?
Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted too much for that, too.
Yeah. That's another one that got stolen.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think he got it back. I don't know if he did or not. It wasn't worth the shit.
Well, how do you hide that house? I mean, you'd have to tear it apart to...
No, they hired somebody to haul it all at one time.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, you put it anywhere, you're going to know this is that house. There's
Yeah.
only one like it. I mean, it's totally unique. It's not even a house.
I jacked up a big garage over there by Farmington, a big son of a bitch. I went in and welded braces in, picked the whole garage up. Matter of fact, the truck, when he hauled it, had to be inside the building. And here's a big one, where the waterworks is there. Anyway, I was doing it for David Covey. He says, "That house ready to go yet?" I said, "Yep, it's ready to go. It's on beams and everything else." Okay. So they came up that next day and pulled up there, and there's a guy hooking onto the goddamn garage. He was going to steal it. They're not hard to move once you get them up. You know, the bigger the house, the easier it's to move. Except for going down the road.
Going down the road, yeah.
And you know where that place was in Fayetteville, over there by the mall? That builds house builders or whatever the hell.
Yeah, Southwest.
Yeah, they had a 3-story house built. Had it all framed up, siding on it. And I pulled in there. And there's 3 stories high. It was just going down the street. Kobe said, "Just jack the son of a bitch up." I said, "All right." So I went in there. It was just some blocks, you know. Sucked the beams under it. It wasn't hard. I had to take the porch off. And the guy goes, "Are you going to raise this house?" "Yeah." "By yourself?" "Yeah. I got airbags." So I set all the airbags, drugged the beams under it. Got her all loaded up on dollies and everything. He goes, "You did this all by yourself?" "Yep." We loaded it real low, you know. Pulled it up the street, and they just paved it. And that guy goes, "Are you going to pull that house down the street?" "Yeah, you ain't going to hurt your street, man. It'll pack it." Yeah, we moved it right up there where Lowe's used to be. Yeah. Kobe used to always go to me. He says, "I'm going to have to hire some guys so you have some help." I said, "Yeah, it takes longer when you got stupid help." "But what do you mean?" "We were letting the house down. It was above the bricks, about this far. And I kept walking around. I told Kenny like 4 times. I said, "No, that ain't going to work, Kenny." I said, "Set that jack straight because you're going to make the house slide if it tips over." "Oh, it'll be all right." I said, "Set that fucking jack straight." Finally, I got under there and set the jack straight. But he wasn't watching when we were letting down on it, you know, coming down. The whole house slid like that and pushed out the whole fucking wall. Boy, I was mad at him. Just little things like that, you know. But it was my fault. I should have went back and checked it as we were coming down.
Yeah, I used to have that discussion all the time. Finally, I bought a saltine cracker box and dumped the crackers out.
Yeah.
And I just like showed them. I was like, "Hey, look, you see this house is tilted like this." And I kept that cracker box for a while in the back of the truck.
Yeah.
It's okay, we're going to jack right here. And we're going to jack together. There's 2 jacks. Bring it up. Get it level. And that's going to bring the front down. See how that box?
Yeah. We'll go back the same way. We'll take 74 down.
Yeah. And so they could get the idea. But then I had to show them, whenever you have 1 jack, you can have 3 people.
Yeah.
3 jacks, which I
And
never
you
rated.
don't take the jacks.
Everybody's jack straight. If you have 1 guy with his jack not straight, he'll spin all the
Or if
rest of
he's
the
ahead.
jacks. Yeah. Well, even if his jack is pushing sideways, he'll push every other jack.
Yeah.
He'll spin the whole house. So I was like, I was always bitching at him, you know, like, "Hey, get your stop and get your jack straight. Take it back down. Get the bottom of that jack straight." "Well, I don't have a level." "Well, here, I'll go get you a torpedo level, by God, if you can't figure it out." So I had a whole bunch of torpedo levels so that he couldn't say, this way, that way wasn't level. They got wise to it after about 3 months of crash course. By that time, probably 7, 8 months more, 9 months more of work out of them, they were tired of it.
Yeah.
The last one I did was with my dad was probably the worst house I've done. I mean, there's been some bad ones I've done, but that was probably the worst one I did. It was a long double wide, like 76-foot box. They count the tongue as part of the length, and long double wide and heavy. One side, the side, it's 14-inch frame. Pass me, I'm doing 50. That's all right.
Damn. You in a hurry?
Evidently. They got a 14-inch frame on all those things. A flimsy piece of junk frame. But how this house is so steep, the first half that I set was just me and my dad. Okay?
Yeah.
Dad says, well, Randy's quitting, so you ain't got no help. I was like, what? So I called Randy up at his house, went down to the store, and said, what the fuck are you doing? He says, I'm quitting. I said, you're not going to give me any kind of notice at all after all the things I've done for you. I'm going to drive up here.
Take 45 down.
Yeah, I thought I'd just change it up a little bit. He says, no, it was snowing. It's cold. It's like, I said, man, you're gonna quit, and you're gonna regret the way you treated me after all the things I've done for you.
Yeah.
So anyway, he quit. I said, well, you got to drive the vehicle up here that you got of mine. Bring my vehicle back up here. It was almost a deer. Dad says, well, what are you going to do? I said, you got to come help me, Dad. Well, the time Dad got there, I already had pretty much the first half done. Now, this is how steep it was. Whenever I set the first half up, the siding was just almost 1.5 inches off the grass. And the frame was 3 foot in and 14 inches tall. So we go from the bottom of the floor joist 4 inches off the ground, and 3 foot over were 14 inches plus blocks, half pad. I probably said those are half pads.
That's all A.T. Smith's shit. Oh, that's power company now.
Yeah, A.T. Smith, that's the one that was over here in Hinesville.
There's some of his pipe.
Spreaders and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What's he doing now?
Oh, I think he's retired. Oh, hell, he was 90 years old still running that store.
Was he? So anyway, I got that first half, I finished it up with Dad, and he goes, son, what are we going to do? Because the second half was really tall. By the time I got to the other side of the frame, it was really tall. They had this house set up inside what used to be, was going to be a house they were building. So it had the block walls, so it's kind of hard to get to, and that house was leaning real hard, like so. I said, well, we got to get up this side up, and then we got to pull it up. So I tied to a telephone pole. Remember we were talking about telephone poles? And tied the frame to the telephone pole and to a tree further up the hill, the first half. And then I tied to that first half with the second half and winched it over after I got it sort of level. End up going up with that thing all the way across, and that's 3 foot from the edge on where the frame is.
Yeah.
7 blocks high all the way across. That's a lot of blocks, and it was ice and snow. My dad was going like, well, son, you wanna call it quits? I said, no, Dad, let's go a little bit further. I wanted to get the two halves together, because it came down like 3 or 4 inches.
Yeah, I wore out many a 12-ton jacks lifting them.
Yeah, I run 20s.
Corey goes, you know how to do this? Nope, but I'll figure her out. And he says, well, I'll leave you these 2 hands. They were doing something I didn't want them to do. They were jacking already, and the other 2 jacks weren't being done. I said, hold on, you guys. What the hell are you doing? Jacking. I said, well, the other end's got to come up at the same goddamn time. Corey goes, what's the problem? I said, you know something? You keep hiring these guys that don't know shit. You can't fix stupid. You want to go back through that way?
Yeah, I'll go this way and change it up. Been a little longer, but
anyway. What do you mean by that? I said, you hire all the stupid fuckers in this world. I said, look at that guy right there. He had his shirt half buttoned. He said, what about him? I said, that son of a bitch that can't even button his shirt. I said, you can't fix stupid.
yeah, what's that guy's name? Jimmy that built mobile homes out of Lowell there. He worked for Pioneer quite a lot. And he came into a restaurant, I think it was in Tawny Town, and I was sitting there. I didn't know he knew who I was.
Huh.
He goes, he got up from his table and come over to my table. I was talking with 2 or 3 other guys working with me. He goes, were you the one that set that house up in Branson? I said, yeah. Which one? One up there, da-da-da. There's some little subdivision. I said, yeah, I was. He says, I can't believe you set that thing up like that. He's going to berate me about it. I said, well, honestly, I wouldn't have done it except for the Harrison Home Center told me that they would pay me $150 an hour to do it per guy. I mean, per my team. He said, well, you put that into that house 7 blocks out. I said, let me tell you something, Jimmy. Let me tell you how stupid the whole situation was. When I got through, which took me a long time, when I got through, that guy said, yeah, in about a week and a half, we're going to bring a dozer in here. We're going to haul a whole bunch of dirt. We're going to put all around this house.
Huh.
I said, well, and the salesman for Harrison Home Center was there. I said, well, what kind of dumb shit is that? Why didn't you haul the dirt in and then bring the house in? The guy's going, shh.
Yeah.
That's what I told Jimmy right in that restaurant. He's like, oh, okay. I said, no, man, it's worse than that. The guy goes, I'm sorry about the runners. I did them myself, but I didn't get them very level. Well, you can't put the piers on an unlevel, concrete. Yeah. You have to do something about it. So I had to reset every one of the locations where the piers were going to go. Then my dad, he was like, hey, I bought a winch truck. So, well, bring it on up. We're going to need it to keep them sliding down this hill because they bulldoze all this, okay? He's going to haul in dirt later, but they bulldoze it. 60 miles an hour ain't fast enough. 57. So he brings this winch truck up there. It's like a 46 Chevrolet, 42, flatbed with an A-frame, 2-ton truck.
Yeah.
That thing would winch, though. I got to give it.
I moved to Minia. He's still got tractors here. I need to come out and see him.
Need to talk to him?
No. That tractor I'm buying needs a radiator. Probably won't sell one. Yeah. I've done many things for Corey I wouldn't do for myself. This stupid bitch, one time we were pulling a 80-foot trailer house. We didn't usually move trailer houses. Corey says, I'm making good money on this, Hines. I go, now where do they want to put it? What do you mean? It was over in Cave Springs. Over there where those little cliffs are. Going over to the airport on that back road through Heifel. I said, have you seen where she wants to put this fucking trailer house?
No, but it can't be that bad.
He says, what the hell are you talking about, Hines? She wants to hang that damn trailer house over a cliff, about half of it. You better be hunting telephone poles so we can put underneath that thing. And he goes, what? And that's what she wants. So we had to rent a sky lift, put the telephone poles underneath that trailer house. Because we were just setting them under the trailer. I said, you need to dig them in so they don't move. Nah, we're just going to set them under it. Okay. When that storm went through the last time I went up and looked,
You wasn't there.
half the trailer house is on the hill, the other half the trailer house is bent down the hill. I told him it wouldn't work.
There's a guy named Alan that was going to take over all the mobile home moving in this area.
Yeah.
First time I met him, my uncle sent me out. He says, I'm getting paid for you to go out and get him unhung up on a corner.
Yeah.
It's like, where's this at? It's on Japton Road, which is over there by Elkins.
Yeah.
I said, I was like, I don't know where Japton is. I've never been there.
Yeah.
He says, well, if you go over there, so I went over there. We had the discussion. Now, he did discussion, my uncle and I. He says, you're going to use your rollers. I was like, okay, let me explain something to you. When I use my rollers, that's $75 an hour just for my rollers.
Yeah.
I said, that's $1,500 just for those rollers. I'm not using them and not getting paid for them. He goes, well, I'm not paying you that much for rollers. I said, well, then we'll just use what you got. No, we'll just use plywood and plastic and slide it over. No, I'll pay you. I'll just charge him. See, when I get there, this guy went around a corner like so with a big, long single wide.
Yeah.
And he was across the corner. The wheels were hanging off the ravine. He had two people down there trying to put blocks underneath it, but they couldn't hardly stand up. It was so steep.
They got a cop here now.
Do they really?
Yeah. They're stupid folks.
He goes, well, you can help them. But since I'm paying you, you can help them put them blocks underneath them wheels. We're going to try to go across.
Yeah.
I was like, I ain't getting the fuck down in that ravine with a trailer above me. It ain't going to fall. I said, well, if you believe that, then why ain't you got these guys, why ain't you just pull it?
Yeah.
He goes, oh, I don't want to have to bend the frame trying to drag it across. I said, well, I'm not going down in the ravine. You back that motherfucker up, we'll build it up. I can't back it up. I said, why can't you back it up? So I went around the other side, and he had the frame stuck in the ground. So I lifted both sides up, put stuff underneath the wheels, and then we rolled it back. And he got to, when he came back, the truck went back up on the corner. So I'm talking to him. I was like, I walked up around the other side of the truck, which is hard to do. It was a long trailer, and there wasn't much room. And they were building that stuff up. I still didn't go down the ravine. And he said, well, what do you want to do here? I was like, well, when you pull up, instead of going across that ravine, why don't we just put the rollers underneath the frame right behind the wheels and just slide it over 30 inches at a time and set it down and move it over. Then we'll make it around the corner. And so he says, okay, well, we'll do that. So that's what we did. We didn't get around the corner, which that took like 4 hours. We didn't get around the corner 20 feet. And that house was too big to go down the road. We were having to cut trees on both sides of the road. I said, I thought you said that you came out here the last time. He said, yeah, but I was drunk. we cut trees till it turned dark, man, like 3 more hours. It's a pretty truck. Both sides of the road, man. The neighbors came out and started helping. That's a really pretty truck.
Yeah, remember when Carl sent me to Missouri, that trailer house they had broke down up there? Had the hitch busted off of it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I never did work on that one. That's when they run it into a valley, hung on both sides.
Yeah, and Carl said, weld the hitch back on and put that axle on there, then it'll come.
Yeah.
I got up there and looked at that shit.
Like
and the truck was already on the road, and the trailer house was still on part of it on the land, And in between that trailer house, there was a ditch. I said, you really want me to fix that bitch like hell? I said, it's going to cost you more than so-and-so. I said, I'll fix it, we can pull it out of there. So I put the axle under it, and I put blocks and rocks, whatever I could find, and boards underneath that trailer. There's a lot of trash there. I said, I called Carl up, I said, well, he's going to come pull this trailer out. Well, not today. He says, he ain't got time. Yeah, shit. So I left it sitting there. It's ready to pull, and I put another axle under it. I had to weld the deals on it.
Shackles.
I set all of it. I had one little jack with me. I still got the jack expand. Jacking that trailer house up to put the boards under it so it's running all three wheels. That was a big fucking trailer house.
Yeah.
Phil, he was sitting on the frame in the back.
That's what I heard. I heard they folded the frame. In the
I don't know. I jacked it up, put it up on them boards and blocks. All he had to do is hook back up to it. I think your buddy did that move.
Yeah, John Phillips.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that could do anything, but really wasn't that
I mean,
good.
they totally ripped the hitch off of that thing.
Right. He was trying to move it with that. Am I the one who ended up with that? That blue, it's a blue Detroit diesel.
I don't know what they had.
Mine come from Don's Mobile Homes.
Well, whatever they had plenty of power when that trailer house bottomed out. You could tell it just
pulled the hitch right off.
Pulled the hitch right off it. Carl goes, just make it work. Make it work.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, I'll make it work. You should have sent somebody up there with me. I spent all day up there.
I was working, it's over here somewhere. I was working with these people that actually lived in Lowell, and they were moving to the property out here. And I said, you guys need to take all this furniture out. Oh, that costs too much money. You don't move without it. We talked to this Archie Poplin's kid, the drug user, crippled up guy. And said he just never showed up, so I had to hire somebody else. And he didn't have a license or insurance. Come to find out after we moved, he worked for Heritage Mobile Homes. And something he lived out here too. Anyway, it's a lot of weight. We went and scoped out where it's going to go, how to get around the corners and everything. But one of the corners where he came around, the night before, he'd already been up that road. Now there's a four-wheel drive truck stuck on the side of the hill, right where you got to turn. So, and nobody was around. Nobody knew who had that truck. Then they had a wheel off of it, and so we had to work around that truck. So in order to do that, we had to back up, forwards, backwards, and then got around, went through the ditch on this side, threw a bunch of stuff in the ditch. It took a lot longer because that stupid truck was right where he aimed to turn. Yeah. And so, as we're going up the hill, the tongue, which not much to him, the tongue folded. He just went, you know. He goes, that's because of that damn weight, man. No, I said, it's part of it's because all that back and forth a couple times, the tongue hit the ground and folded just a little under. It doesn't. Once they fold on the bottom, that's it. They're going to fold up. They're going to go, yeah. He said, well, what we got to do? Go get another tongue. I said, here's what you're going to do. You're going to hook onto that thing. We're going to drag this thing the next 5 blocks up this hill, and you're never going to lift it off the ground. You're going to drag it all the way. So when we go in, you're going in one time because you're not going to be able to back up. He says, are you willing to stand behind me? I said, yeah, I'll stand behind you. I said, okay. So we drug it in and pulled it in right on the spot. That tongue was at the front of that front frame was folded up like that. Drug it in.
Yeah. I fixed a many trailer house issues.
They tried to sue him. That's how I found out he had no insurance. Because the floor joist, the frame was just a little bit bent, maybe 1/4 inch, 3/8 of an inch.
Hell, an inch is a lot in the trailer house.
It is. They tried to sue him for it. And then
Must have been that same guy that siloed my one all the way up to Hawaii. And they had this fucking trailer house on a hill like this. They had the truck still underneath of it. Hitch was all broke. And they had the truck chained to a tree. I go, what the hell is this? He finally showed up. I go, I can't weld that 3 inches apart. What do you mean? Well, that goddamn trailer house is 3 inches from where I got to weld it in. Here's for Carl's friends. Oh, those guys over in Siloam Frame. And he said, well, what do you want me to do? I said, well, I guess it's going to cost you more for me to suck that trailer house up to that truck. Well, I can release it and back up a little bit. No, you don't want to do that.
You'd be going down the hill.
Yeah. I mean, it was a hill. I don't mean a little hill. It was a steep goddamn hill. I said, why are you on this hill? Why don't you use that driveway down there? Oh, he says, that trailer house won't go through those corners. I said, well, they got it in there somehow. Anyway, so I got her all welded back up and put a bunch of braces in it, sucker rod and stuff. So that goddamn thing, he says, well, we all set to go. Well, I can't guarantee that. I said, if that'll all hold, you pulling that up that hill, you got flat tires on the goddamn trailer house once you change the tires. They didn't even have extra tires, so they aired them up. And by God, he went out of that hill. I was surprised. I figured it'd break again. That was a lot of fucking furniture was still in the sunbed.
Yeah, you can't. That's why I tell people all the time. You cannot move this house with furniture. You're trying to save money.
Yeah.
Not having to move it back and forth and rent a...
I ain't still been paid for that.
That makes sense.
They moved out. I went to see them a couple times when they were still there. Well, I ain't got the money today. Okay. I just charged them $300 for a whole day's work. Man.
Yeah. I remember those days.
And I had to weld the back and the front together. Because it broke it in the back. Actually, it was bent around to the side. He said, what are you going to do now? I said, well, I'm going to put that goddamn a brace in there so the trailer house will travel straight. You can do that? I said, well, goddamn, you bent that thing about, I don't know, 3 foot. And I took a come along and pulled it back, where it was straight. Put some braces in. He said, will that hold? I said, hell, I don't know how far you're going with it. It's going to the other side of Siloam Springs. They sold that fucking house. Mm-hmm. So people didn't know.
My uncle did a lot of stuff. Here's the deal about my uncle, okay? It took a little bit for me to figure out what was going on. On Friday, how much money he had in that envelope or that bank bag that with the zipper on it, all that money went into the bank. Yeah. On Monday, he started over, and if he didn't have very much money in there, that he couldn't give you any money. He wouldn't give you any money. He's not taking it out of the bank. When it goes in, it ain't coming out.
Huh.
Now, if you approached him on a Thursday or a Friday, he would loan you money because he hadn't put it in the bank yet. He would give you money that he owed you. You just have to tell him. But if you tell him on Monday, you're not going to get your money because he hadn't made enough money to pay you. He wants that money going into the bank, never coming out.
Yeah, but Carl's biggest problem was he didn't have you, and he had a lot of idiots working for him.
That's who he used to replace me. And then they get into a really complex, like I did one out in Patrick.
Yeah.
Rebuilt this house that was an old single wide, and they wanted this really special wood log cabin look.
Yeah.
It had foam, white foam in the inside of it.
Yeah.
It was like an inch thick all the way around. It had a real nice look. I mean, really had knots and random stuff all in it, and looked like a log cabin. We had to cut the stuff. You had to watch it. He was like, I want you to watch this video. I'm going to have you do this because these guys are not good enough to do that. So I watched the video. I was like, I'm going to do this a different way. And I did. So I put all this log cabin. The guy that owned it, this property, he owned Karate Kids. He owns 3 other karate studios where they teach you how to do karate. And he's from Tulsa, and he's a black belt 2 times or something. I don't know. He's a big old heavy boy. He got money. So he goes. My uncle he would never stay on the job more than an hour or 2. That's where he's always been. He's never wanted to stay there very long. I gotta go do an air conditioning job.
Well, he had field work.
Yeah.
What was that one that tore everything up?
Greg was real good at
No, that other one that...
Stacy.
No, he worked for Carl.
There's a bunch of them.
He had something wrong with him. He kept telling Carl. One day I was standing there, and I sat there and figured it out. 12 by 12 roof he was putting on. He didn't know how many sheets of tin he should go get. And Carl told him like 3 times how many to go get. You know, he had to actually write it down for him.
Yeah, because, you hired all those guys out of Decision Point in Springdale. They had to be back in Springdale by 5 o'clock. That's a drug rehab place. When you get in trouble with the law because of drugs, you have to go to Decision Point. They say you got to be back for your meetings by 5 o'clock.
What was his name? Phillips or something like that?
John Phillips?
Yeah, he's a real stupid fucker. He got real mouthy with me one day. I said, I'll tell you what, I probably forgotten what you know. I was standing there across here. I was fixing that air compressor.
Carl called me up one day. He goes, what you got your crew doing? I said, we're working on a house over in Fayetteville. He says, I'll pay you $600 to work for me today. It was like, I'm making that much already. He says, I'll pay you $750 if you'll work for me today. I said, you make it $800, you got a deal. What are we doing? So we went to go do what it was. About halfway through the day, he shows up, and I'm pretty much finished. It was not even, the day was not even over. He says, wow, you got this done quick. I said, well, don't think that means you can negotiate the price, because I was going to make the money I was making anyway. I said, where's John? This is his job.
John, that was his name.
John Phillips.
Yeah.
He said, well, you know that truck he got? It's a 500 cubic inch Chevrolet that he hot rodded? That 4-door truck?
Yeah.
He said, yeah.
I put the motor in it.
Well, did you?
Yeah.
He goes, that 4-door truck, he had 3 guys in the back and 2 more guys with him in the front. And they went off Prairie Grove, that Illinois Chapel Road. Yeah. Right there where Fort comes to the river, it turns to the right real quick.
Yeah.
He went airborne through the thing.
Shit.
Going way too fast, like 70 miles an hour. All of them in the truck.
Well, they were trying to start that air compressor. It took me about 5 minutes to fix it. And that's when I told him that. He says, that probably won't even start up. I said, well, I don't know that either. I haven't pulled a rope. And that's when I told him that I ain't forgotten what it. Carl Hines is picking on me. Carl goes, why you just leave Hines alone? I need that air compressor.
Did I ever tell you about Tim McKinney? You remember that little Tim? He's about your size. Little skinny thing.
Yeah.
He worked for me for 6 years.
He's the one that loaded that ditcher up and didn't tie it down on the trailer, wasn't it?
No, that was one of John's guys.
Oh.
I ended up buying that.
Yeah.
You ever been inside there?
Yep.
John was already at Carl's house, and Carl, he called me. He says, I want you to come over and look at this job. It's like, okay. So I went over there, and okay. John Phillips had another guy that actually worked for the XFL as a lineman, and they called him Big Neck because his name is John too.
Yeah.
Big Neck his neck is that big. He's a big old, short, stocky guy, big boy. And John, when I pulled up, you could hear John going, "Hey, go over there and fuck him up. Go over it. He's talking about me."
Huh. I know he didn't like you.
No.
That's why he didn't like me.
Right. So we're walking toward the deal, and the guy come walking down, and Tim, I didn't even see Tim, but Tim come from behind me and got in between me and him. And I'm still, I ain't paying no attention to them guys. They're running their mouth, and I'm walking to the house. And then when Tim came up, he just went like this. And that guy jumped back. Hey, Tim says, right beside me, and I didn't know he had even done it until he told me later. He says, "You fucking bitch." I'm like, told that big old boy, he must have weighed 3 times what he did. And the guy's like, he got spooked because Tim jumped at him or flinched at him. And Tim called him, "You fucking bitch."
Well, John Phillips, he hated my guts.
And from that point on,
that's when Carl had that. It wasn't that trailer. I hauled that trailer with all that roofing on it back to the building. But there's another trailer there. They just unhooked it and took off. And Carl called me and he says, "Where you at?" "I'm on my way home." He says, "Can you hook onto that trailer on the freeway and pull it up to the shop?"
That's where they got in trouble.
Yeah. I got there was cops and everything else. So.
Yeah. The ticket was like that long.
Cop goes, "What are you going to do?" I said, "Back under this trailer and pull it off." "Oh, no, you can't take this trailer." I said, "What, do you want to leave it on the highway? We got a wrecker coming." I said, "No, I'm going to pull that trailer right where it goes." "Really?" So I backed in and hooked onto it. And that cop get going, "You can pull this trailer up that hill." "Yeah, with this truck." "Yeah, if I can, I'll give you that truck." That's when I had that old flatbed that we drove to Texas. And he says, "You're sure?" 2 flat tires. I just took a tire off one side and put it on the other side. And I said, "I hope that tire makes it. I'll have to drag it on a flat." So I hooked onto it and pulled it right up the hill and went to the shop. And the cop followed me all the way. He says, "This is where that trailer's going?" I said, "Yep. I'm hired to haul this trailer up here." I didn't even have the heart to charge Carl for it because I got such a kick out of it. They had his good truck hooked to it and tore it up. That blue one or gray silver one or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I told Carl, I said, "The reason you didn't get that trailer in the yard is because them idiots didn't want to pull it." Hell, they had it way overloaded. When I dropped it on my truck, it was a pretty good load for my truck.
Yeah.
And the cop goes, "You really going to pull this trailer?" I said, "You fucking ain't. Get out of the way." Jumped in the cab and took off.
Yeah, I was working on this replumbing this house, which that was a nightmare because back then we were using CPVC.
Yeah.
And Carl bought this glue at Lowe's. I guess it was discounted. The CPVC glue, everything, anyway, it wasn't any good. So everything I had to keep redoing it. So anyway, these guys were supposed to come and help me redo some other things on that house.
Huh.
And these people own a house over here. Anyway, I was like, where's the box van?" He says, "I don't want to talk about it." Well, what had happened was Greg convinced him that box van could tow a trailer.
Shit. Well, it could, really.
It did. It bent both sides of that trailer, that box van coming back and hitting it, and it bent his box van. But the worst part about it is, whenever he got unhooked from the trailer and got it there all bent up, he didn't get it home before the transmission went out, automatic transmission went out on it. So he had his box van with a bad transmission and two bent up ends on this mobile home. And there's one of them mobile homes that they had that decorative front that kind of sticks out over top of the
What's going on here?
Oh, flashing lights, all we're going to get.
Yeah. I told Carl one day I was doing some shit for him at his place there. I says, your biggest problem is you got idiots working for you.
Yeah.
I know, he says. You don't have to remind me, he goes.
Every day. He goes, he was on vacation now. You understand? Well, Carl at one point had 6 timeshares. 6. So he was always taking a vacation, but he already paid for it by buying the timeshare and then paying the...
Yeah.
Anyway. He says, he called me up from Cozumel or wherever he was. It's like, I need you to go by and check my house. It's like, well, what am I checking for? Just make sure the house is not broke into. Because almost every time he left and he told the boys, the house would get broke into.
Yeah.
And it was mostly Greg.
Yeah. Whatever happened to him?
He's working for him down in...
Somebody hit that, didn't they?
Yeah, didn't make the corner. He's working down... Stacy and Greg are working for him down in Los Alamos, New Mexico. Couldn't stay too far away from Dad. They both need him, I guess. Anyway. So, I go up there and look around. The house wasn't broke into. And then I go back home, and then he goes, well, did you see anything unusual at the house? I said, yeah, all those air conditioners that you and I set up there up top the hill are gone. Did you tell them boys to move them somewhere? He says, no, I know what happened.
Copper.
They scrapped it for copper. They scrapped like 7 air conditioners.
And they all were good.
All were good. I mean, it was a big stack of like bigger than this truck, stacked on top of each other. So every time them boys needed money, they would wait till his dad go on vacation and they would scrap his air conditioners. Everything. So whenever when Carl moved to Mexico, Greg moved into that house. Well, Greg went into jail, so everybody there that was living in the house was like a commune of people.
Yeah.
They took all the metal off the roof, all the copper out from underneath the house. They took all the metal off all those buildings. There wasn't, on top of the hill, there was a metal building, totally metal. It's all gone. They scrapped everything. They scrapped the tools that I had Greg working with me on. They sold the motorhome that I bought. They sold the Coke machine, all that stuff. So I called the law. They pull up there and they said, well, was that motorhome in your name? It's like, no, I hadn't had any time to get it in my name. But here's the title, and it's signed. It's in my possession. I own it. He goes, well, there ain't nothing we can do if it ain't in your name. I said, what are you talking about? If somebody steals something from Walmart, a $5 piece or whatever, you guys arrest them. And Walmart don't have their name on that.
Yeah.
Well, it's just different. That's retail. I said, okay, if somebody goes and steals a car off a used car lot, they don't have their name on that car. It's open title. He says, are you trying to get argumentative with me? I said, yeah, I'm arguing with you. You cannot tell me that I don't have any rights. And they didn't do anything about it.
Huh.
That motorhome got sold to somebody without a title.
Yeah, Carl, if he'd had a decent worker, he'd be rich.
He made a lot of money. He and I were working together. In a year, we might hire somebody during the summertime as a laborer, but he was making near $400,000 a year, and that's gross. So he was making $275, maybe after paying me. Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Greg and them was all eating it up by palming.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'll never forget one time Carl had me do something. I don't remember what it was. He had bought some copper wire. I think it was in that trailer court we were putting those grounds in. You came back and done it. Water meters. Car goes, all I want you to do is run a wire. Okay. So I pulled up in his yard. I was sitting there talking to him, and he says, well, I'm going to give you that roll of wire, but it's copper. Don't let nobody steal it. So okay. So we went to his truck, and that whole roll of wire was gone. He said, well, I don't know how they picked that up. That thing weighed 200 pounds. I didn't take it.
One of the times that Carl went on vacation, his house was broke into. And he called me up, can you go down there and meet the police? So I went down there, and the detective was waiting on me. And I had the keys. I opened up in there, and he goes, well, you don't have to unlock it because the door's broke. You can see where they kicked the door in or pried in or whatever. I said, okay, well, I unlocked it anyway. We go inside, and here shows up Greg.
You can buy that J&L right here for $1 million. But they won't let you put no more cars on it. So what are you going to do with it?
How do they know which ones he's got, which ones he don't?
Yeah.
If he pulls one out and puts another one in.
Well, when are you going to check on that building up there?
What am I checking on?
Yeah.
Oh, the one in Exeter?
Yeah.
Well, she's supposed to find out on Google, the internet, who owns it. Then I'll go talk to him. I'd like to set up
I just got to have a place to live, and Dana's got to have a job.
Well, I'll at least see if I can set something up. We'll see if I can get the guy to owner finance, Because it ain't, in the last 6 years, ain't nothing happened with it. Nothing at all.
Is the building a leak?
Probably. They sprayed foam on top of the roof. Huh. It's a metal roof building. Their answer was to spray foam on it.
That foam is supposed to be good for like 50 years.
Yeah, I know. But I don't believe it. It seemed to me it would hold water up there and find a way down.
It's like with the coronavirus. I go, why the fuck are you wearing that mask and those gloves? Well, it's protecting me from coronavirus. Well, when you walk outside, a mosquito bites you, and he just bit another person that was in the parking lot, and he's got corona, you're going to get coronavirus. That mask and goddamn gloves ain't going to do you a damn bit of good.
Yeah, then they're touching their roof, their mask to scratch your nose or whatever. Yeah, it's all blown.
It's just a gimmick. They ain't figured it out. Government's making so much a mask, so much for the gloves.
Right, and ventilators. And,
yeah.
Well, now, CDC just put out information that 80% of the deaths are in nursing homes.
Yeah. They're passing it back and forth.
Not 60, not 40, 80%.
Oh, they called me all the time. Are you okay? Are you alive? I said, you fucking A, I answered the phone. What do you want to know?
This is the ghost of Hans Fish.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's just a gimmick anymore. The government made a lot of money off this whole coronavirus.
Well, the rich people for sure are.
Yep.
Stock market drops.
Yep.
Then they buy up all that stock, and then when it goes back up, they sell it.
Yep.
Might be 2 or 3 years from now when it goes way up.
Yes, sir. But I'm interested in that building. If
See
you're
what I can do.
interested in doing something.
Well, I trust you. Couldn't hardly trust nobody else.
You know I won't steal nothing.
Right.
I don't give a shit. I'll haul you some more shit.
Well, I'd like to set up an auction somewhere.
No, but I gotta have living quarters that I can afford to live in.
Anywhere there's a bathroom, I can make a living. I can get plumbing going. All I got to do is raise the toilet up, put a floor underneath it, and connect underneath the toilet, underneath that floor.
Yeah. I gotta get Dana to be satisfied with it. She's kind of bitchy.
She okay with it being out here?
Huh?
She okay with your place out here?
No, she wants to fucking move. Ashley's graduated now. We don't have to be in no certain place.
Right. What's this thrift store like over here?
The old store
Yeah.
ain't open but once a month.
Really?
Yeah. And then you can get a $7 cup of coffee right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
French kiss?
She's got big tits.
No, that's why they call it French kiss.
I says, I'm not giving you seven. I told her, I says she was trying to get me to buy a cup of coffee. I'm not giving you $7 a cup of coffee. I can look at your tits without buying that coffee. She had them hanging out there, let me tell you. I'd be interested if you decide to do it. Come up and look at it.
I'll see if I can get up there.
Any houses around it?
Oh, it's in right in the middle of town. Well, town of Exeter. You know where the old part of Exeter is?
Yeah.
The old buildings and everything run right beside the railroad tracks. It's across the street.
Really?
Yeah. The sale barn's on the other side of the freeway, or the railroad tracks, on down about 3 or 4 blocks on the right, where they have that horse barn, the horse sale.
Yeah.
And it's this way.
So I know right where it's at then.
It's on this.
I don't remember the building, but
Yeah, it's not been nothing done with it in a long, long time.
they'll put a restaurant in too.
Suppose you could. I got all the stuff to do it. I got a flat grill, hood vent. I got everything.
So we're too old to do that shit anymore. None of our kids would be interested in doing that.
That's what the deal is. The restaurant.
You couldn't get them to work for you.
Drew's getting approved to go to school there in Northwest Arkansas Community College to be an air conditioning guy.
Really?
Yeah. But they're not open, so he ain't learning too much.
There's a lot of money in the air conditioning business.
Yeah. So Luke is staying over there in that house with his uncle?
I think he's home right now.
Oh, is it?
I have no idea. You know, he went and moved to Lincoln, got a real good farm job. The guy got pissed off at Luke. Luke wanted to whip his ass, so the guy fired Luke. Luke's a pretty good sized boy now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Luke scared him, you know what I'm saying? And he moved back over here. He got rid of all them people leeching off him and shit.
Yeah.
And he's right back in the same spot again.
Same kind of people gonna be coming back. Huh?
Well, you can't have somebody working with you on another farm and you're buying them cigarettes and giving them a ride and everything. He's not paying for nothing. Well, he's my best friend. I said, well, you can be your best friend, but then why are you paying for everything for him? You got to make your own life.
Your best friend's got to make your life better.
Yeah.
Well, I remember all that work when they did that. It's a lot of work.
That's a snake. He has snakes.
Yeah.
Goes to all them shows. He had a bunch of them get away here a while back. Everybody that's seen him says, you catch all those snakes and I need to come over with my shotgun. Oh, God, don't shoot them. He's got some snakes that he paid $500 for. Yeah.
Surprised. Makes me sad when they tore out that metal bridge.
Yeah. Dana, my dude, she's got some relations up in Exeter. Now, you think that trailer house would get water up to it?
Where you're at?
That trailer house back there.
No.
Put it right in the creek bed.
All these things get water up to it sooner or later.
I seen water hitting this road, right? Matter of fact, right here. Where's that? Oh, it's back there.
They just keep on letting them build down in there. There's houses down in there.
Yeah.
See, that's what. Well, Kim, my first wife, went to say that I took a sledgehammer after Warren Napier's car and tried to hit her with a sledgehammer. You know. So he goes, "I don't sound right." She goes, "Well, why are you?" He was like, he really made her, because caught her. He did a real interview with her, and he caught her in several lies. Okay, he just did the story changed. Well, come to find out, down here a ways, past your house, a little bit. No, I might have been right somewhere along here. There was a mobile home sitting down here. Whenever that big flood came through, his house went underwater. Not a lot, but enough to.
Was that the one that floated?
Yeah, it floated a little bit.
I know where it was at. It's not there
So
now.
he was friends with a police officer. I went out there and I was talking with him because I was right next door to some other people wanted an estimate on theirs. They decided to just go ahead and total theirs.
Yeah.
So I was talking with him on how to do it, and spent about an hour showing him how to do it. And well, that policeman was there. And we knew each other, so he remembered me. So he was like, "There's no way that guy. She's just trying to make something up, create something to get him in trouble." So my lawyer called me up and said, "Hey, she's made these charges against you." And he said that if you'll just send a written report, he'll take that in rebuttal to what she said. So he says, "Do you know this guy?" I was like, "No, I didn't remember." So he got him on the phone, and he said that the police department. He says, "Do you remember that or that or that?" It's like, "Yeah, I was." Yeah. He says, "I'm that guy, the policeman that shut up. That was my friend." "Oh yeah." He says, "Yeah, you just send a written piece of paper saying that did not happen. That'll be all I need."
Yeah. I seen all this flooded right here this year. This is all flooded here.
Built a brick house down there.
Yeah. That barn's a house down there too.
Everybody want to be close to the water. Ask the people up there in Michigan what they think about water now. Where the dam busted and flooded everybody.
Yeah. I see water right by the road right here. Splashing over. Yeah, the sheriff's department owns all this here. They were donating to it. An old gal was in there and some guy goddamn grabbed a hold of her, screwed her brains out. She sued him. They got all pissed off because it was the sheriff's department. She sued him and won.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. They would drive through there every once in a while now. Yeah.
Even that place just had like a
He's an asshole.
ramp that went from one building to the other.
Yeah. This guy was going to put Romine out of business. He's never fucking open. He's another one got in trouble for having all the cars there and they weren't on blocks and drained.
Didn't have a permit to have the business.
Yeah. Where you going, Tracy?
Looks like he's struggling. That's a heavy van.
He owns that car lot we went by back Green and by J&L's now. You know, they're making him pay $10 a month for every car over 10 that's there.
Are they counting them?
Huh?
Who's counting?
County. They made him down here. He had a lot more cars. He's an idiot. They make him pay $10 a car for every car that's sitting there. County. He's a stupid fucker. He wouldn't sell me a part for a moped because he wanted to put it on. I'll bring the moped down here. I'll put it on for you. Fuck no, I don't. How much you want for the part? Oh, I ain't gonna sell you the part. What the hell? He was doing mopeds then. I said, you shouldn't be in business. When you come back this way, if you come back this way, there's a piece of board or something laying on the road there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dana hates it around here. Well, Romine's going to sell this place. He's bought this place. He's building a house. These guys got mad at him. Made him haul off all that junk. So Romine went in and he got in big trouble. He just set that house on fire. I said, you know you're going to get in trouble for burning this. Nah, I won't. Sure enough, they come out and find him for burning painted lumber.
Yeah, but it's okay for the fire department to practice burning.
Yeah. Really, they find him. I don't know how much, but they find him for burning painted lumber. He says, I don't know what that matters. He says, they burn all kinds of shit. That's funny. Yeah, this drive was getting rougher. His son bitch across the road, he's fenced off part of my land there, and I told him that. And I said, well, did you get it surveyed? Well, no. I says, you're on my place. And he goes, that's where the line is. I said, no, it's not. Luke's not here.